Okay guys, for this gnome, you're going to need the pattern. It's in the description below. You're going to need some faux fur, some little shoes, a bead for his nose, bead for his hands, two little 4.5-inch sticks, a 4.5-inch pool noodle, a 70mm half ornament, weighted beads, some fabric, some felt, some noodles for his hands and his feet. All right, let's get started. First thing what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and cut the faux fur for his top of his hat, for his hair, It's going to be 1-inch strips, and we're going to do 2 at 2.5-inch and 1 at 3-inch. And we're just going to cut straight down one side of the fur that's flowing downward. And just mark them off, and then we're going to just go ahead and take our scissors, and we're going to cut behind the backing only, not through the faux fur, all the way down, and then we're going to cut them into our strips. Again, we're going to do 1 at 3-inch and 2 at 2.5-inch. The 3-inch one is going to go in the very center, and the 2.5-inch are going to go on both sides of the little ball. And that is a 70mm ball, half of an ornament. All right, we're going to go ahead and clean them up and get started. We're going to take our noodle, and we're going to wrap it with felt that is adhesive backed. And I went ahead and wrapped it around one time, but then after I got done doing that, I still could see the green through it. So I came back and I'm adding an additional strip exactly like that. So just roll it around there, and then we're going to add a second strip just so that we're just trying to cover up all the green. Now, if you can find a white pool noodle, that's great, but I couldn't find one. Okay, then we're going to go ahead and clip the tip off of that ornament, and we're going to attach it in the middle. Just stick it under there and pull that around, and the adhesive will hold that little ball in place as well. Okay, we're going to go ahead and attach our faux fur. Again, the 1 and 3-inch ones in the center, and make sure that it is flush. You want to cover up all of that green. And it doesn't have to be perfect. Just get it on there and just glue it in, but do try to cover up all the green that you can. Just merge those together where they don't overlap. And then the third piece as well. Okay, while that dries, we're going to go ahead and add the little foam piece to the bottom. That's a 2.25-inch piece of foam. You could use a little bit bigger, but that was 2.25-inch. Now we're going to go ahead and do his hat. We're just going to go down one side of the long side of the fabric, and we're going to fold it over. We are going to turn this right side out here in a minute, so that's why we're just folding it over this way. Okay, we're going to put that aside, and we're going to go ahead and build his little outfit. And you're going to take the pattern, and you're going to have to put it together. See where that seamed together? You're going to have to put it together to cut that out. So you have a nice circle, and then we're going to go ahead and add some thread to it and make a casing because we want it really tight around his body. So just go in and out around there, you know, every 1/4 of an inch until you get it completely in a circle. All right, we're going to put that aside, and we're going to go ahead and cut out his beard. We're just going to get all of our components together so we can go ahead and build him pretty quick. We're going to take our beard and then draw it onto the back of our faux fur. And then we're going to cut the backing only all the way around. And then after we get that cut out, we're just going to go ahead and take a comb and comb all that excess fur off of there. Just get all that fur off of there. All right, we're going to go ahead and turn this right side out, and I'm going to show you what I did that you could do differently here. After I did it turn right side out, then I went and ironed it, and I could see the seam in the back. So I took a 9-inch by 2-inch piece of white felt, and I stuck it in there. So fold up that one side, glue it down, and you want to glue it down towards the side that has the seam on it. And then this is where I came back in because I didn't like how it looked. It was a little bit thin, and I just put this piece of felt down in the middle of it. So you could actually just build your hat around that and not have to do the casing and just glue it to the back of the felt. But it did make it a lot stiffer, and the outcome was a lot better. Then just trim that off, and then we're going to go ahead and see exactly where it is around there for the hat, and we're going to mark right at the tip of that. And we're going to make sure, we're going to go ahead and add our outfit, and we're just going to make sure that we get that probably about a 1/2 inch above that mark because we want that hat to cover up the top part of his little ghost outfit. Okay, tie it tight so it's on there real well. And then we're going to cut that off. Okay, I went ahead and put his hat back up there so I could kind of take a look at him. And then I'm just going to go around and cut little triangles out of his outfit. And then afterwards, when I got done, I went back in there and added some more. So you can kind of just, you know, jagged it up however much you want to. And there's no rhyme or reason to this. Just cut you some triangles or whatever you want to do. Just trying to make it look real tattered. So just cut it up. All right, now we're going to go ahead and attach his ghost outfit to his body. We're going to come up a ½ inch above that blue line that we drew for the hat. And we are going to pull it back and glue all the way around. And then pull the outfit back over the top of it so that it's glued in place. Just go all the way around and then pull it down and then just kind of hold it around there until it dries. All right, now we're going to go ahead and attach his arms. We're going to pull him back up, find the backing. And you want to make sure you're on both sides. And we're going to take our scissors and just poke a hole right through that noodle. Just cut a hole through there. We're going to stick that noodle in about 1 inch. And we're going to do the thing on both sides. Make sure you're even on both sides so your arms are sticking out exactly even with each other. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and stick our noodle in 1 inch. Bend it down. And then we're going to cut it down flush with his body. And then we're going to do the same thing for the other side. We're going to stick it in about 1 inch and then bend it down and then cut that one off as well. Okay, we're going to go ahead and take them out, leave them bent where they're in, and then we're going to draw a line on those so we know exactly where our shirt will end. So keep them bent and make sure they're even, and then we're going to draw a little bit of line at the top, and that's where our shirt's going to be. Okay, now we're going to take our shirt and we're going to attach the ball to it, and we're going to attach the noodle to the short side of it. We're going to roll these up a little bit loose because we don't want that blue to show through. So just attach your noodle right there and then roll it up kind of loosely. And it is kind of a big piece of fabric, but I needed it to be big enough to be able to cover up all that blue. And I actually use a little bit bigger bead than I wish I had of. I wish I used a little bit smaller bead on this. And we're not going to have to hem up one side because we don't want it to be completely perfect. We do want it to look a little bit worn on this. All right, now that we got those ready, we're going to go ahead and glue them in. We're going to go ahead and put them back into the noodle and bend that arm back. Just go ahead and glue it in. Just want to make sure that our white fabric goes all the way into where that noodle hole is. And just bend his arm down, and then we're going to do the same thing for the opposite side. We'll go ahead and add our glue this time first. Stick it in there and then bend it down. We're just trying to cover up all that blue. All right, now we're going to go ahead and attach his hat and his beard. We're just going to take that hat, wrap it around, make sure that the seam is in the back, and we are going to comb that hair down, just the edge hair down, all the way around, and then we're going to put a little bit of glue underneath it to hold it in. This will just keep the transition between the little ornament and the body kind of a smooth transition. Okay, we're going to go ahead and put his hat up there and see where it goes, and we're just going to put our beard right up to it, and we're going to make sure we put our beard probably about a ½ inch up underneath that hat. So now we got that measured. We're going to go ahead and attach his beard. Just put some glue just along the top edge, and then we're going to come back and we're going to attach the hat. Just make sure the seam is in the back and that hair is flush. All right. Just kind of put it around there. I'm going to take one more look at it before I glue it down, and then I'm going to go ahead and glue it down. And glue the raw edge down first and then the finished edge down over the top of it. All right, now we're going to go ahead and we are going to decorate his hat. We're going to take his little eyes and we're going to attach them. And you can cut those out with scissors, or you can cut those out with the SVG file that I've included. Just glue those down. And you can kind of do them crooked or straight or however you want. There's no rhyme or reason to this one. But just glue those in good. And then the little eyebrows, you can kind of put those where you want as well. I'm just putting on the outside edges of his eyes. Just try not to too much glue because you will see it if you put too much. And we're going to go ahead and attach his nose. Just put a little dollop of glue on that nose and then just stick that up underneath that hat. All right, next what we're going to do is we're going to do his shoes. We're just taking the little Dollar Tree Party Favor shoes and we are going to fill those with weighted beads and then we're going to cover up those with a piece of tape. And if you can't find those at Dollar Tree, I notice now that I see them a lot on Amazon. Okay, we're going to tape around there and we're going to trim off the excess tape that we don't use because we do want our shoes to be smooth so that when we put our face on it, it'll look good. Just cover those up with a piece of tape on both of them. And I'm only going to show you how to make one of the shoes. The second shoe is going to be made exactly like it. But for time-wise, I want to try to get through this for you as easy as possible. Okay, we're going to take our shoe. We're going to take our backing piece, which is one of the rectangles. We're going to glue it down to the back. Come all the way around. Just smooth it out really well because you do want these to be smooth. Then we're going to take the front. We're going to fold it in half. And these are going to have to be trimmed at the bottom because I made them a little bit big because I wanted you to be able to stretch them. You want to push that on around, but you're going to make sure that those top edges of the front and the back match. So pull it on around there. But that way you can stretch it to make it smooth. It gives you a little bit of a wing on there to hold on to. Just pull that down and smooth that out as much as you can. All right, now we can go ahead and get our sides done and we'll go ahead and trim that out. Just so it's flush with the bottom of the shoe. All right, next what we're going to do is we're going to attach the front and our sole of our shoe. So we're going to go ahead and attach the sole first. And then we're going to come back in and we're going to attach the trim around the outside edge. Just make sure that that centerpiece is centered. And then just stretch that all the way around as you go. And the sole on the shoe that I just did, it was a little bit small, but in the pattern I've increased the size of it. So it'll be a little bit bigger. It should cover up the bottom of that shoe. All right, pull that on around, trim off any of that excess. And just kind of stretch it as you go. And then glue that down. Then we're going to put a piece of foam around the top to kind of trim out the top edge of it. And just put that all the way around as well. And then stretching it all the way to the back. Just to kind of complete the top of the shoe. Because you are going to see the top of the shoe when his pant leg is on. All right, and we're going to do the same exact thing, same thing to the other shoe. All right, now we're going to go ahead and decorate them. We're going to go ahead and put the eyes on there. Just take the little eyes that are in the pattern and glue them on. And you can glue those on however you want to, crooked, straight, however you want to. And then we're going to take a Sharpie and come back in and we are going to draw his mouth on. And I was scared at first to do it, but it was pretty easy. You're just going to take your marker and you're going to kind of draw a long, happy face. And then you're just going to do the little lines across it. And then the same thing for that shoe as well. And then I'm going back in and put a little noses on them. All right, now we're going to go ahead and build his legs. We're going to take our noodle and go ahead and take your wire out now. I don't know why I didn't do that at first. I went and trimmed it at 2.5 inches, cut my wire. I could have just taken the wire out and cut the whole thing with scissors. So, wasn't thinking on that one. So go ahead and pull that wire out on both of them, and then just go ahead and measure them and make sure they're even. They're 2.5 inches in length is what I did with these. Okay, we're going to go ahead and add our sticks. Those sticks are 4.5 by 1/4 inch dowel rods, and stick it all the way in till it gets to the bottom. All right, now we're going to go ahead and do our pants leg. We're going to we're going to hem up both of the long sides, and we're going to hem up one of the short sides. And these pants we're going to make off of his body, and then we're going to stick them onto his legs, because we're just going to try and make them a little slouchy, a little bit long and slouchy. Okay, go ahead and fold that over, and then glue that over across the top of it about 1/4 inch, and that's going to be one of his legs, or one of his pants legs. And then we're going to do the same thing for the other. Just bend it over, add the glue, and glue it shut. Just try not to glue your pant leg together. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and attach his legs to his body. We're going to do evenly on both sides. Just make sure that your seam is in the back and you are on a side. Just poke a hole in there and poke a hole in there, and try to get closer to the edge on these, because those shoes are a little bit big and they are going to take some space up. All right, then put his shoes on. Just make sure they're straight before you start gluing everything in. Now we're going to go ahead and pull them out, and we're going to go ahead and attach the glue. Then we're going to just put his pant leg up there, and we're just going to put like a dot of glue on the front and the back at the top just to hold them on. But once they get squished up in there, slouchy, those shoes are going to hold them all in anyways. Just put a little dollop of glue there on both of them, and then we're going to turn them over and do the same thing on the front. Okay, and then just go ahead and push those legs on down. And then we're going to go ahead and attach his shoes. All right, just put a dollop of glue in each one of his shoes. And that's pretty much it. We're pretty much done with him. He was pretty easy. If you want to see how to make the little trick-or-treat bag, stay tuned. It's coming up right after this video. And it's just about 1.5 minutes. All right, cute little ghost gnome. If you like the video, hit like. If you want to see future videos, hit subscribe. If you want to be notified when I have another video, hit the bell. Thanks for watching. All right, to make the bag, you go ahead and print this out, and we're going to cut it out. There's cutting marks on that paper. Then we're going to score it at 7/8, 2 3/8, 3 1/4, 4 3/4. Then we're going to turn it, and we are going to score it again at 2 inches. And then we're going to take our scissors, and we're going to cut along the score lines. And we're going to cut those triangles off on the edge on each of those score lines. And then we're going to diagonal in on the little tabs. And then we're going to go ahead and punch our holes for our handles. And I could cut my handles at 7.5 inches. All right, then we're going to go ahead and fold along the score lines. And then we're going to tape the side tab, the first tab, the second tab, skip the third, and then glue the fourth. Bend those over, fold it in. And then we're going to take our jute, and we are going to tie that off inside. Just do 2 little knots, or however big the hole is you punch. You might have to do more, but I use just a little, like a 1/8 inch punch. All right, and then do the same thing for the other handle. All right, then when we get done tying that off, we're going to turn it to the side, and we're going to bend it in, and I'll show you how to do that here in the next little clip. Just turn it to the side, bend it in, and that'll give it the little bag look. Pretty easy. There you have it. Nothing to it. Hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching.